What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to give you guys my quick and brief thoughts and reactions to yesterday's WNBA games. The first game hosted where it premiered the Las Vegas Aces taking on the Indiana Fever, and that game was a pretty decent game. It wasn't a blowout game, so it was still interesting, even though the Las Vegas Aces, they definitely did what they needed to do. I think that the Indiana Fever struggled tonight. Definitely, last night they struggled. They struggled definitely in the first half. Definitely, they started off with the momentum in the first quarter, taking the 7-0 lead. But once the Las Vegas Aces started heating up, it was pretty much over, lights out, and it was pretty much over for the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark struggled in the first half, going for 3 for 11 field goal percentage, and Aaliyah Boston struggled in the first half as well. So that was pretty much the only thing that I would think that kept them in this game and prevented this game from being a blowout was probably, I would have to say, was Kelsey Mitchell. She was knocking down some shots, and as well as Wheeler coming off the bench. Wheeler was knocking down some shots, which kept the Fever in this game. Now, but when it coming into the second half, the Las Vegas Aces, they kept the momentum and they kept going. Asia Wilson, definitely, she did her thing. That was what definitely was expected. So kudos and congratulations to Asia Wilson, the front runner-up for the MVP. But I would have to say, as far as the MVP of last night's game, I would have to say Plum was the MVP of last night's game. Plum was on fire, and she was cooking Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell was blowing, if you guys actually was watching the game, Kelsey Mitchell was blowing a lot of her defensive schemes, and you can see it that Plum was all in her head, and I was surprised, which I placed 75% of the blame of this loss, the Indiana Fever loss to the Las Vegas Aces, on Christy Sides. Christy Sides did not make the necessary adjustments how the Las Vegas Aces coaches did. Once, if you guys remember in that first quarter when the Indiana Fever took that 7-0 point lead, the Las Vegas Aces coach, she was already calling timeouts that quick, like, oh no, we're not about to have this. She was calling timeouts like, hey, let's make the adjustments right now. But Christy's side, it seems like she just couldn't figure it out. Like, she just was, she had nothing for no kind of schemes for the Las Vegas Aces. She had no plan on how to stop the Las Vegas Aces. She was just, and you could see the momentum. She was just like letting the Indiana Fever players just run, keep going, and let them do whatever they can do. It's like she was like, well, just do what you can do. And I think that was just lack of head coaching responsibility by Christy Side. She did a terrible job of making the adjustments that the Indiana Fever needed in order to basically slow the Las Vegas Aces momentum down. But as I said, to me, Plum was the most valuable player in last night's game. Plum was cooking. She did a hell of a job. She was knocking down a lot of shots, a lot of those three-point shots. And like I said, Kelsey Mitchell, even though she was kept the Fever in the game in the first half, along with Wheeler, but coming out in that second half, you could see it that Kelsey Mitchell was getting cooked. She was blowing a lot of defensive schemes. So I think that's what contributed into the Indiana Fever a lot. But like I said, the main majority part of the responsibility of the loss goes on to Christy Sides, definitely. I think Christy Sides needs to do a better job and needs to improve her coaching abilities, especially getting ready, preparing for the WNBA playoffs this season. Because if Christy Sides doesn't get her shit together, the Indiana Fever are going to have some struggles in the playoffs. Now, before I move on to the second game, I want to say that I think that person is just my opinion, because I know a lot of you guys are like, no, don't do that. But I think personally, that the Indiana Fever should shut down some of their starters with these last remaining games. Shut them down and let them get some rest, because you can also see that as well. You can see it. It looked like some of the Indiana Fever players are a little bit burnt out, like they're worn out a little bit. So I think that the Indiana Fever should shut down some of their starters and let those players that coming off the bench that haven't really begun playing time, let them get some playing time, because you're going to need the Indiana Fever. Mark my word. The Indiana Fever, if they want any chance as far as advancing further in the playoffs, the 2024 WNBA playoffs, they need to get those bench players and some of them players that haven't been getting really no playing time. You need to get them some playing time because you're going to need them when the playoff starts. Trust me, mark my word, the Indiana Fever are going to need those bench players in order to, if they wanted to go further in the playoffs, okay?